Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. What a day. What a day. Ilkay made the Scousers cry. Gundogan has returned to Manchester City on a free transfer, signing a one-year contract. Now, this week I've been on the overlap and we were talking about best and worst transfers. Now, this one has the potential to be one of the best. If Ilkay Gundogan can come back on a free transfer and he can get us some more silverware this season, get us over the line in the Champions League, get us over the line again in the league for 5 in a row, then I think we'll be looking at this transfer as a coup. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Gundogan was on the radar. You know what I mean? That door and chapter are closed. Obviously, Barcelona are a shit show. You know what I mean? A mess. I've just listened to Gundogan's interview and the way he described it, saying like he realised how good this club is run and how good he had it here in Manchester. And for me, that was a little dig at Barcelona. So he's obviously seen things and thought, fucking hell, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? Then they've come to him and said, look, your wages are a problem. You might not get a game. We need you off the books. He's made the call to Pep and said, look, can I come home? Pep said, no problem. It's what he brings. Yeah, he's not young anymore, but the experience, the in the dressing room, the aura of him in the dressing room, in games when it's not going going our own way. He's a calm head. You know what I mean? He's been there. He's done it. He's delivered clutch moments. He's come off the bench and won us leagues. There's been games late in the season where we didn't look like scoring. Gundogan's popped up and scored. Do you know what I mean? So he's definitely a fantastic signing. And we was in the market for a midfield player because we were short on numbers. We've just let Maximo Perrone go to Como on loan. Excuse me. Calvin Phillips has gone to Ipswich. Do you know what I mean? There's gaps in the midfield for somebody to come in. Mateus Nunes obviously doesn't trust him yet. Kovacic and Bernardo link up in the midfield the other day at Chelsea was brilliant. But Ilkay Gundogan, just being there off the bench, 20 minutes to go, calm the game down, control the game, bring Ilkay on, let him tick it along nice. You know what I mean? Carabao Cup games at home. Rodri, no problem. Have a night off. Ilkay, sort this out. Mix the team with a couple of the youngsters, sort it out. So he's absolutely outstanding. And I was on the Big Six show last night, and they were trying to play it down. A lot of the lads saying, "Oh, it's not really a signing that sticks out and all that." Listen, you couldn't be further from the truth. This is a big signing to get this level of player back at the club for free, who's been there, done it, the treble-winning captain. You can't buy that experience. We've struggled. We've literally got Gundogan's replacement and went back and got Gundogan. He didn't want Paella. He didn't want Estrella. He didn't even want the sun and the beaches of Barcelona. He wanted our prey market, pissing down rain and smackheads in Piccadilly Gardens. What a fucking legend of a man. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't want to be walking around La Ramblers. He's walking up Market Street with his bird, grabbing a coffee and that. So listen, welcome back, Ilkay. What a signing. Get him in the squad for Ipswich tomorrow. And let's fucking have it in that stadium. Get that crowd rocking. I feel like the treble winning season, we had a connection. The fans, the players, everyone was galvanised. Chelsea, away end, looked amazing. Everyone that was sending me videos and the lads that were there said it was bouncing. It was like the treble season. We've got to keep it going. Tomorrow, Ipswich Town at home. Newly promoted Ipswich Town. I went to Portman Road yesterday to do a preview. 2001 was the last time we played Ipswich in the league and they relegated us at Portman Road. I was there. Sean Goater scored. They come back 2 late goals. We were relegated. You know what I mean? So we did a little documentary thing for City TV. It's on Matchday Live tomorrow, talking about it. It was a long day yesterday, by the way, a very long day. But it brought back some memories, and it made me appreciate where we are now. I was talking to the Ipswich fan. He said he was there that night, and they were giving City loads of shit. And then they were on the verge of the Champions League. And then literally look at us now, where we are, look where Ipswich are, and look like they had like 17 years in the doldrums just floating around. The Ipswich fans said he used to watch the horse racing in the stand because the game was that shit. And I think some City fans can relate to that, because there was times in Division 2 where we probably watched the horse racing because City was shit. So, yeah, it was crazy. But you know what? It's the first home game of the season. We're the champions. We're going for 5 in a row. We've had a good performance against Chelsea. We've got to be on our toes. Ipswich are on a good run. Back-to-back promotions. McKenna's got them playing well. They've signed some good players. Against Liverpool for 45 minutes, they were okay. But then the quality of Liverpool got them in the end. I'm expecting the same. I'm expecting Manchester City to go there tomorrow and smash them. And at the end of the day, in 2001, there was a banner in the crowd at Ipswich. Some kid, he had a banner and it said, "You are the weakest link. Goodbye." And I've always remembered that banner. So tomorrow, that kid is going to get a taste of his own medicine. We already give him a slapping the year after the banner. We went there in the FA Cup and done him 4-1. Sean Golter and Darren Huckabee and Isle Berkovic and that. So we got our revenge on that. But it'd just be sweet to ram him for 5 or 6 tomorrow. That's what I think. And that's really not disrespecting Ipswich. At the end of the day, we're Manchester City, we're the champions. And the Etihad Stadium, we've made it into a fortress. So tomorrow, they're going to have it all to do. You know what I mean? If they come tomorrow and think they're going to pass around us and play some great football, then it could be long for Ipswich. It could be long. Let me know in the comments what you think of the game tomorrow against Ipswich. What score do you reckon it will be? Do you think it's going to be a tough game? Am I being a bit harsh on Ipswich? Or am I right to be confident in going there and smashing them? Because, you know, I think that's what's going to happen. On the Big Six, I think I went 5-0. And I think City will turn it on tomorrow. I do. I think Savinho is fit again, so he could start. Grealish, not played any minutes yet. He could start, maybe. Jeremy get a rest. The England boys have had a bit of training under the belt. Johnny Stones and Kyle Walker and Phil Foden. And speaking of Foden, congratulations of Foden getting the PFA Player of the Year. I seen online a load of nonsense, so I didn't deserve it and this, that and the other. People are absolutely mad. They just blinkered. Do you know what I mean? The Man City team carried him. Well, listen, if you're scoring hat-tricks in derbies and you're popping up with goals in the Bernabeu and all that, it's no one's carrying you, mate. No one's carrying you. And Phil Foden deserved it. Last season, he was outstanding. He played so well. I just hope Phil gets his head down this year and carries on again. You know what I mean? Don't let it affect him. Put the awards in the cupboard. Get back on it. Ilkay's back. And start turning out some performances. Other than that, Maximo Perrone, player that has not featured for Manchester City much. He's gone on loan to Como. I can see that being a permanent deal, to be honest. I look at him, I think he's got potential, but I don't see anything outstanding with him where I think he's going to get in this Manchester City midfield. A lot of people were talking about Ilkay Gundogan coming in and maybe pushing Nico O'Reilly or Mcfc out the picture. I get that, but I'm sure all City fans agree you'd rather have Ilkay Gundogan with his experience coming in than maybe putting in a Mcfc who's not quite ready or an O'Reilly who's not quite ready and getting his confidence damaged. So if one of them has to go out on loan, so be it. You know, I think. But I'm sure Pep's got a plan. Do you know what I mean? He's got a plan. I'm sure he's got an idea in his head of where he can use certain players. But for me, Nico O'Reilly and Mcfc can only benefit training with Ilkay. They can. And listening to Ilkay talk about the club today in that interview, it made me proud, to be honest, to be a City fan and proud of what the club are doing. When he's saying the best club in the world and you realise that the people that work at the club are the best and all that. And that's refreshing because for many, many years, Man City didn't do that. We were a club that didn't have the best. The staff wasn't the best. the setup wasn't the best. The infrastructure wasn't the best. It was pretty poor, to be honest. So it's good when world-class players are saying that. Another position people are worrying about is the striker situation. What happens if Erling Haaland gets injured? You know, he does have a little spell in the season where he seems to have a rest, or he has a little niggle or something. We have signed the young striker from West Ham, Medimu or something. I think he got Young Player of the Year at West Ham. He's got a lot of potential. I don't think he's quite ready for the first team. But we've been linked with Kyogo at Celtic. Now, I did mention that a few days before anybody else, but other people got the credit for it, which I'm not bothered about. It doesn't matter. I'm not an in the know. I try to, give you guys a bit of information if I get it. I don't claim to be an in the know. I'm not one of them guys that says, oh, I know this. I don't. Every now and then, somebody might tell me something that I feel that's interesting to you guys, and I say it. But Kyogo, what I've been told of him by the Celtic lads is that he's a fantastic player, full of energy, nice poacher in and around the box, and someone that the Celtic fans could say, look, we think he'd smash it at City. With the talent City's got, we think he'd smash it. And from a commercial aspect, business aspect, I think he'd sell some shirts as well. But listen, Pep apparently has come out in a press conference, said they might not do anything. I will be very, very surprised if we don't get another body in, an attacking player in, because I feel like we're light. Whether he's going to go with a false 9, if we don't get a striker, or if Erling's injured, go with a false 9, that's something he could do. But I feel like we're a little bit light, just a little bit light. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you think. Are we light? What other strikers is there out there? We've been linked with Duran at Villa. People mentioning like Ivan Toney. Why is no one going for him? Tony's a good player. He's a different striker, but I believe that there's a reason why no one's touching Ivan Toney. Whether it's an attitude problem thing, whether he comes with baggage, I don't know. But you've got to admit, it's strange why there's a proven Premier League striker there and nobody's going for him. So I think he's going to end up in Saudi. But other than that, Blues, when you take a step back and you look at the team that we've got on paper, we seem to be pretty much covered everywhere. We've got a lot of wide players. We've got a lot of players that can play in different positions if we need to. The back four looks solid. These people can come in and out of that. Rico Lewis' performance at weekend showing us that the Kyle Walker situation on the right, it's not all about Kyle. We know that Rico can do it. The goalkeeping situation, you've got Eddie and Ortega, two fantastic keepers. The centre-backs, you've got Stones, Akanji, Diaz, Ake, Guardiol. Left back, you've got Ake, Guardiol. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of options there. So although people think, oh, we need this, we need that, actually, you can slot players in anywhere. Bernardo can go on the right, he can go on the left, he can go in the middle. Foden can go on the right, can go on the left, can go in a false 9, can go in the middle. De Bruyne can go wide. So I get where Pep's coming from. It's not the end of the world. I feel like he's got a good squad of players, some really, really good options, and I'm quietly confident about the season. I am quietly confident about the season. Other than that, I don't think there's an awful lot happening. It's just about getting the right team together for tomorrow. I'd probably stick with the starting lineup that went against Chelsea. But if he needs to give game time to John Stones and Kyle and Phil, this is a perfect game to do that. You know what I mean? The newly promoted side, they're coming to the home of the champions. On paper, it looks like we're gonna get the 3 points. So I don't think Pep would be overly worried about changing it a bit, but we'll see. But all I'm saying is, Blues, let's get there tomorrow. Let's get behind the lads. Let's start the season in the right way at home. Let's get behind Ilkay Gundogan. Get behind the manager. Do you know what I mean? This could be Pep's last season, by the way. There's lots of talk of him renewing, but this could be his last season. We've got to treat it like it's his last season. We've got to get behind him as if this could be his last season. We might not see him again. That's how I'm thinking about it. I'm going to enjoy every game, every moment, but we need to get behind the manager as well. We need to sing his name. We need to proper make him feel like this is the place where you need to stay, Pep. Ilkay Gundogan thought the grass was probably greener in Barcelona, and it wasn't. So we need to make sure Pep knows that there isn't many places in world football better than where he is. I'm sure he knows that, but hey-ho, it is what it is. But listen, people, please, please, please hit a like on the stream. It helps. If you aren't following me on Instagram and TikTok, please go over there and follow me on Instagram and TikTok. The new overlap video is out this week. It's out now, I think. Talking about the first games of the season, and there's a transfer special one coming out. Who is the best and worst transfer of your club's history? Now, we had lots of City fans messaging me saying Lee Bradbury, Joe, Mateus Vioso, Christian Ngue, Jason Van Blurk, Simon Calissimo, Ricky Olden, Adrian Heath, Glauber Berta. All these names were thrown at me, all horrendous in their own right. Then there was the best signings. Andy Morrison, 50k. Sean Goater, Isle Berkovic, Ali Benabio. Who else was there? He was a fantastic. Sergio Aguero, 30 million, decade of at the top of the game, record goal scorer. Yaya Toure, David Silva, Pablo Zabaleta, Vincent Kompany. So there's literally loads. You could sit in the boozer with your mates and have a full-on debate about best and worst. But I'll be interested to know who is the best Manchester City signing ever for what he brought to the club, for value for money, the legacy he left, and who is the worst? Who is the signing where you thought, that just didn't work out, that was terrible? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know. And listen, I'm going to the ground early tomorrow, maybe jumping Mary D's or the Townley. If you see me out there, come over and say hello. I won't bite. I get so many messages saying, I've seen you, Steve. I didn't want to bother you. You ain't bothering me. If you want to come over, chat football, come and chat football. And yeah, everybody enjoy the game. Come on, City. My score prediction, Man City 5, Ipswich 0. Ilkay Gundogan in the squad. Comes off the bench late. Bags the 5th. Come on, the Blues.